Have you noticed that lately the idea of a stranger's judgment feels heavier than the actual danger they might pose? You find yourself scrolling, seeking out the predictable rhythm of an algorithm because the messiness of a real human interaction feels like a marathon you aren't prepared to run. It's a quiet modern exhaustion. You aren't antisocial in the way the world defines it. You're simply tired of the high-variance nature of other people. You're looking for a way to exist without the constant underlying tension of having to perform for someone who might have a bad day, a hidden agenda, or an unpredictable mood. This is why, for an increasing number of us, the thought of a robot or machine with a fixed baseline feels like a relief rather than a threat. We are entering an era where humanity is becoming a liability and predictability is becoming the ultimate luxury. But before we judge ourselves for this, we have to understand the biological architecture of why this is happening. Our brains were not designed for the hyper-connected, high-density social reality of the 21st century. For thousands of years, the other was a manageable variable. You knew your tribe. You knew their stories. You knew their bad day tax. Today, the other is everyone, all at once, accessible through a glass screen. When you interact with a human now, you are navigating a labyrinth of invisible histories. You don't know if they are grieving, if they are angry at their boss, or if they are simply hungry. That unpredictability triggers a micro-stress response in the amygdala. It's a biological alarm bell. In contrast, a robot offers what I call the predictability premium. A robot doesn't have a bad day. It doesn't have a mood. It provides a safe version of companionship because it lacks the capacity for judgment. We are designing robots to look like us because we crave the shape of connection, but we are choosing them because we want to opt out of the risk of connection. It's because of the uncanny valley, that psychological danger zone, where something is almost human but not quite. When a machine mimics a smile without the underlying muscle of emotion, it feels like a lie. It feels like a hollow shell. But here is the secret. We aren't actually scared of the robot. We are scared of the situation. If you're in a rideshare at 2 a.m., a robot driver feels safer because the threat of human unpredictability is removed. The robot becomes a neutral tool in a high-stress environment. We are beginning to value consistency over connection. We are trading the mess for the mode. Think about the bad day tax for a moment. Every time you interact with a human, you are essentially negotiating with their internal weather. Sometimes it's sunny, sometimes it's a hurricane. If you are already depleted, you cannot afford to navigate someone else's storm. This is why we gravitate toward the mindless loop. Robots take over the repetitive, the predictable, and the mindless. They filter out the human frailty. They offer a sanctuary from the demands of being perceived. For the lonely, or the neurodivergent, or the simply overwhelmed, a robot isn't a replacement for a friend. It's a judgment-free zone. It is a place where you can be seen without being evaluated. But there is a cost to this sanctuary, and as a mentor, I need you to look at that cost clearly. When we choose the safe output of a machine, we are beginning to devalue the risky output of the human spirit. Human art, human thought, and human connection are all high risk. They require the possibility of failure. They require the possibility of being misunderstood. If we only interact with the safe, we begin to atrophy. We lose the muscle memory for vulnerability. The unpluggable fear isn't just about AI taking jobs. It's about AI taking the friction out of our lives until we forget how to handle friction. Friction is where growth happens. Friction is the mess that produces the magic. If we only ever speak to the safe, we will eventually find ourselves unable to speak to the real. So, how do we navigate this? How do we live in a world where the machine is easy and the human is hard? We have to stop viewing human messiness as a bug in the system. The mess is the feature. The unpredictability is the point. I want you to stop trying to find safe humans. They don't exist. Instead, I want you to start looking for intentional humans. Find people who understand that the bad day tax is a part of the contract. Build connections where you agree to navigate the storms together rather than seeking a shelter that excludes the storm entirely. We need to cultivate a human premium. Just as we value organic food because of its imperfections, we must learn to value organic interaction because of its risks. The goal isn't to fear the robot, and it isn't to force yourself into every social interaction until you burn out. The goal is to recognize that the robot is a tool for your convenience, but the human is the destination for your soul. Don't let the ease of the machine make you forget the depth of the person. The safest place to be is not in a world without friction. The safest place to be is in a world where you have the courage to be seen exactly as you are, messy, unpredictable, and beautifully, terrifyingly real. The deeper truth is this: we don't fear people because they are hard. We fear them because they are the only things in this world that can truly reflect us back to ourselves. And that reflection, no matter how blurry, no matter how difficult, is the only thing that makes us feel alive. Your task today is small. Don't send a text. Don't send a DM. Call one person today. Not to solve a problem, not to perform, and not to be productive. Just call them to hear the mess of their voice. Listen to their bad day. Let them hear yours. Reclaim the friction. It's the only way back to yourself.